Hi, Deb here, and I'm taking part in the Doll Flapper Challenge from Marna from Dolls Rescued and Peacecraft Dolls with Tammy Pally, or Polly. Let me know how to pronounce that properly. Did you know that the United States had a First Lady who was a flapper? Mm-hmm. It was Grace Coolidge. And this is my Grace Coolidge doll. Um, She's from the First Lady's collection. I have 3 or 4 more of these if you'd like to see them. Okay, she is wearing a flapper dress, but it's not your traditional fringe flapper because Calvin Coolidge did not want her to dress in that kind of flapper style, but this is also considered a flapper dress. She was not allowed to bob her hair, but she wore it in a gathering and flipped it under so it looked bobbed. Clever lady. And beautiful. She was one of our prettiest First Ladies. And this is her dress. It's got the layers and a sparkly little waist thing, and then it's got this gorgeous cape. It's velvet. And then she's got red molded on shoes. And I just think she's lovely. And Grace Coolidge was a very interesting lady. Here's her portrait, her official White House portrait. Hope you can see that. And she's pictured with a dog because she loved animals, and so did Calvin. In fact, they were sent, for some reason she wore furs, but again, it was that time. It was the time. They were sent a raccoon while they were in the White House for Thanksgiving dinner. They did not want to eat that raccoon. It was live, so they made a pet out of Rebecca Raccoon. Didn't work out so well. So eventually, they tried, but eventually Rebecca Raccoon was sent to a zoo. I assume she was not raised in the wild, so anyway. She did love her animals, and so did Calvin. She reminds me of Dolly Madison in the fact she was outgoing and happy and lively, and her husband was quiet and reserved. In fact, he was so quiet. There's lots of stories, but she was a very devout Christian woman, and she couldn't go to church one day, so he went. When he came back, she said, did you enjoy the sermon? He said yes. And she said, what did he preach about? And he said, sin. And she said, what did he say about sin? And he said, he was against it. That's one of the many stories of Silent Cow. But they were opposites, but they loved each other. She was born in 1879. When she graduated from the University of Vermont, she lived in one place, and across the courtyard was where Calvin Coolidge was boarding, and they fell in love, and they were in love till the day died. They truly cherished each other. Let's see. She said she used to put a candle in the light of her room so he would know the parlor was free and they could meet. So sweet. They had 2 children. Their son, Calvin Jr., died at the age of 16. He played tennis in his bare feet. He got infected and died of sepsis. Her other son, John, lived to an old age, so she was a huge baseball fan. In fact, the Red Sox were a team. They called her the First Lady of Baseball. She loved clothes, and Calvin, he let her buy whatever she wanted. That's because he was pretty frugal, but not when it came to Grace and her clothes. She lived next to people who had deaf children, so when she graduated the University of Vermont, she went to teach at the Clark School for the Deaf. In fact, there's some footage of Helen Keller visiting the White House, and she put her fingertips on Grace's lips so she could tell what she was saying. Grace advocated lip reading, not sign language. There's a thing out there saying she was the first one to give a speech in sign language. Her son said no, she never knew sign language because she believed lip reading helped the deaf fit into society better. And she had a sincere reason for being against sign language, but at any rate, and she advocated, she became a trustee of that school after her time in the White House, along with John F. Kennedy. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you? In 1931, she was selected as one of the 12 greatest living women. Let's see, Kendall, teacher, first lady. I think I've told you everything. She lived till 1957. But she was a very interesting lady, if you ever want to read about it. See, this shows her bobbed hair, but as I said, but if you see pictures of her, it looks like she has bobbed hair. A lady of fashion finds her way, and she was a lady of fashion. And she's our first, or only, as far as I know. I don't think Lou Hoover would be considered a flapper. So that's my contribution for our flapper first lady, Grace Coolidge. I hope you like, comment, subscribe, and watch all the other videos, because I bet they're incredible. So until next time, toodles!